Well, welcome to the song demonstration video for day 16. We're going to look at one of my favorite songs by one of my favorite bands. It's Peaceful Easy Feeling by the Eagles, sung by the late great Glenn Frey, one of my biggest and most important heroes as a songwriter, arranger, and singer. This is obviously a song that's country flavored, but most people would put this in the rock pop category, not the country category, and I wanted to do that on purpose. I wanted to start off by showing that the country feel doesn't automatically mean country music. So this is a great tune, and we're going to show, just like we have been lately, how very quickly you're playing a credible version of it in just a couple of minutes when you run this the song learning formula through it and apply these simple rhythm patterns. So I'm very excited. Let's change the camera angle and dig into the details, shall we? Okay, like I mentioned, we're on Peaceful Easy Feeling by the Eagles. Great song. So let's run it through our song learning, formula. So the first thing that we do is we look up the chords. And when we look up the chords, what we find is, if you're on that really popular site that I showed you, tabs.ultimate-guitar.com, well, what you're going to see is that they've said capo it up 2 frets, and they put it in the key of D, but it's actually in E. Some of the other resources I looked up will actually have the chords written out in E. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to play it in E here, just to stay in the same key as what they have in the song. But don't be afraid to use D if it's a little easier. There's a few less sharps involved that way. But basically, if you were to listen to the song, so we find the chords, then we find the song. So you can look that up on YouTube. I know YouTube has it, and then you play it and you listen. And as I mentioned, I'm not going to do that with these guys' songs. I'm not going to break their copyright and just play their recordings on these videos. But if you listen to it, then you'll find, if you tried playing with the other feels, you'd start with this. You'd try the basic feel and go. Not terrible. Something about it's not quite as peaceful and easy, right? So then you try the syncopated feel. That's okay, because we're just alternating between an E major chord and an E suspended chord here. And it's working okay, but something about it's just getting lost in translation. Then we try the country feel on it. E suspended. Boy, you hear the song coming to life a little better this way? I mean, listen to it for yourself and tell me which one of these is recreating what the Eagles were doing better. Is it this? Or this? Or is it this? I like the way your sparkling earrings lay against your skin so brown. And it's on a B7 there, I think. So I'm playing the 7th chord, which you don't know yet, but we're going to cover that pretty soon. But see how that really does a much better job, and I think I might even have been playing a little fast, so. But now we're on the right course. This is Peaceful Easy Feeling, I like the way your sparkling earrings lay against your skin so brown. to sleep with you in the desert tonight, with a billion stars all around. I get a peaceful, easy feeling, right? Yeah. I know you won't let me down, 'cause I'm already standing on the ground. Okay, that gives us a great foundation to work from, right? So now that we've found out what the feel is, so now we add some improv. So we don't have a ton of improv to work with here, but let's just add some of this toggling that we've learned and see what that does to it, right? So assuming, we pretend that you're comfortable with it, just playing it through in the basic or the simple version, and then let's just add a little toggling. So see what I'm doing there? I'm just playing with part of the hand and toggling to the thumb and back, and just in kind of an interesting rhythm. So in this song, I might kind of perpetually have some toggling going on to create kind of a umashaka, 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 umashaka thing going on, which, what does that do? Kind of helps replicate the strumming of the guitar. Boom, jaka, duka, jaka, duka, jaka, duka, jaka, duka, jaka, duka, jaka. I was playing a big, thick octave chord here, but you can do it with just a 3-note chord like this. Just going between that E major chord, which is G sharp, B, and E, to an E suspended chord, which is A, B, and E. Just keeping that rock steady 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 underneath with the left hand. I like the way you sparkle in earrings lay against your skin so brown. I wanna sleep with you in the desert tonight, with a billion stars all around. I get a peaceful, easy feeling. So see how, goodness, this country thing just right out of the chute started to make it make sense. And then just the simplest bit of improv, just a little bit of doing this with your hand. And we're not talking about doing anything weird with the chords. You're already on the chord exactly the way you were going to voice it. Wouldn't matter if you were here, playing it in root position, or if you were here playing it in second inversion. Or here, playing it in first inversion. It just doesn't matter. You're right there where you were already going to play the chord. And all you're doing is toggling around, playing part of it with this part of your hand and then toggling down to the thumb and back. And just that little bit, as long as you're comfortable keeping, like I say, don't try to do a ton of that until you feel rock solid with the simple version of the rhythm pattern, because your left hand needs to stay on course. It's got to keep that up. It's got to keep that going. But then just this little bit of stuff, and you don't have to move your hand around or do anything fancy, and listen to all the life. It's like the song becomes three-dimensional. It jumps out of the piano. It just blows me to this day, I've been doing this for almost 30 years, guys. It still excites me. This is not me making this up. This is authentic. I have goosebumps right now because of how much life these songs get with these simple techniques. It is a miracle. I like the way sparkling earrings lay. Boom. You got yourself a song. And once again, as I mentioned in the last video, if you are to the point where you really are comfortable with your chords and you can play all of them pretty darn well, and you don't have trouble forming them and jumping to another one, and you really have the basic, the simple version of these essential rhythm patterns down, you're going to be learning these songs in 5 minutes. Literally, you're just going to sit down, because a whole lot of them only have like 3, 4, maybe 5 chords in the whole thing. You're going to learn them in like 5 minutes. You're going to have a credible version down, and then you're just going to have all the fun in the world embellishing them and getting better and better at different things that you can do with your right hand, and they keep building. The next thing is always the next easiest thing to do is always the most exciting thing to do. And what happens is that your hand coordination continues to improve as you come up with new ideas. And it snowballs. It's a snowball going down a hill. Oh my gosh, you guys are going to have so much fun if you apply this stuff. I'm a walking infomercial for it. It's my whole life has been nothing but fun because I've followed these principles. So, okay. That's all I have for you in this video. I do think this is a good time to point out, though, some of you are thinking, but at some point I want to play the melody, Steve. I'm not a singer and I want to play the melody. And I just want to take a second and point out that for many years, this was all I did. I would get gigs at cocktail hours and dinners and stuff for banquets and conventions, and they'd need background music, and I would go there and just kind of play accompaniment style stuff because I really didn't play the melody at that time. And so first of all, don't undersell this as beautiful piano music that's fun to play and fun to listen to, especially the more advanced you get with things you can do with your right hand. In a song like this, people might even recognize what song you're playing even without the melody. Everything I did there, by the way, absolutely everything I just did is a principle that we cover in this 28-day course. Some of it we've already learned, some of it we're going to learn over the final 2 weeks. So there's nothing in there that, you might have to practice a little bit to get your hand coordination down, but there's nothing in there that you're not going to have the tools to do at the end of the 28-day period. However long you're stretching it out and taking. I don't care if you do it in 28 days. But the point is, by the time you get to the 28th lesson, you're going to have all the information you need to do everything I just did. So that's one thing. Don't undersell this as beautiful piano music that's fun to listen to and fun to play. Secondly, even if you do want to play the melody, and I have some information on that in the deep dive part of my course already, and I don't know whether, depending on when you're seeing this, I actually am going to put together a step-by-step course for playing the melody in the right hand that builds on what we've learned here. But you still have to know this. The last thing you do is put the melody in, not the first. And so that course may already be up, it may not, it depends on when you're saying this. At the time I'm saying it, obviously it is not, but it is coming. But I'm just going to show you this, that you still need to be able to identify the feel. And you still have to work on getting your left hand rock solid, and you still have to know all of the things that we're going to learn in here about improvisation with your right hand, because then you add the melody and you fill spaces around it. And you still need to be able to identify, you know, the notes inside that scale, and you still need to know your chords. So everything we're learning here is absolutely essential to playing the melody in the right hand. It's just that once you have this stuff down pat and you can do a really great job of an accompaniment version, then you can, with some ear training and with some new techniques, you can come in and go. 90% of what I was doing in there is stuff that we're learning in this course. The last 10% is incorporating the melody. And that, like I say, we're going to do a step-by-step course for that as well. But do not undersell the importance of what we're learning here. This is where it all begins. This is the foundation upon which the melody sits, and you have to have this in place first. So give this your all and enjoy it for all it's worth and all that it is, because this is where you have the flexibility and the freedom and the creativity. And then putting the melody into the right hand is an option you can add, just like singing is an option you can add. But this is where it all really starts, and this is where 90% of the work is done and where most of the really cool stuff is done. So, okay, that's all I have for you now. I'm going to see you in tomorrow's lesson, but I just wanted to cover that little important tidbit because I know a lot of you are probably wondering about that already. So I'll see you then. Have fun with it, and thank you for indulging me. I know I get excitable, but this is exciting stuff. So I hope you feel it too.